The book that I would like to read to you today is called How Full Is Your Bucket? And that's the title of the story. And it's kind of a strange title. How full is your bucket? What do they mean by that? I don't know. Before I start reading this book, I wanted to encourage everybody in my class. I always say this every year. I want to encourage you to be brave enough to make mistakes. And so sometimes I ask kids, what happens if you make a mistake? And a lot of times kids will say to me, oh, you get in trouble if you make a mistake, or you have to go see the principal if you make a mistake. But that's not true, and I'll tell you why. You learn from your mistakes. So if you never make any mistakes, then you're not learning, okay? And I don't mean that I want you to make mistakes. Don't make mistakes on purpose, but if you're, writing a letter, or writing the number, or drawing a picture and you make a mistake, there's no reason to be upset about it. You can just erase it and fix it and move on and try again. And that's how we learn. We actually learn from our mistakes. So do not be afraid to make mistakes. When you come in and are finally able to come back into the classroom, I'm going to encourage you to make mistakes and to try rather than give up. It's okay to make a mistake, but if you don't try at all, then you won't learn anything. So I just wanted to encourage you to do that. This book is actually about being kind. How full is your bucket? And you're going to learn when you come into my classroom that kindness is the number one thing for me. So I want everybody to be kind to each other always. This book has to do with being kind to people and how it can help you and help them, okay? How full is your bucket? Felix was putting one of the last blocks on his tower when his little sister came in. I want to build with you, she said. Felix scowled. Go away, you're too little. Oh. I'm big. Stay back, you'll knock it over. I can be very careful. Go play with your baby toys, Anna. And then look at, this is how she feels about Felix right now. And then she takes her doll and she goes, thwack! And she knocks over his tower. Grandpa! Grandpa shook his head. Felix, you just dipped from your sister's bucket. Like everything else, Anna has an invisible bucket. When it's empty, she feels bad. But when it's full, she feels great. Didn't you ever notice your own bucket? Invisible bucket? Sometimes Felix couldn't quite tell when his grandfather was joking. And he's not joking, actually. But the next morning when Felix woke up, there it was, a small gray bucket floating above his head. Interesting. When Felix came down to have breakfast, his mom was in a hurry. I've got a meeting this morning and it's almost time to go. Anna, sit still. His mom's in a hurry to go. Felix slipped and cocoa wheats scattered across the floor. Felix, yelled his mom, you should have used the stool to reach that. Felix could feel his bucket tip and a big invisible drop spill out. Drip, drip. Ha ha, Anna laughed as he crunched the cereal with her toes. Drip. Get the broom and clean that up before you miss the bus, scolded Mom. With the school bus honking, Felix quickly swept up the cocoa wheats and grabbed the last blueberry muffin, but before he could even take one bite... See, he's losing drips from his bucket because of this whole thing that's happening in the morning. It's not making him feel good. Oops. This page doesn't want to let me. I knew it. Buster jumped up and grabbed the muffin from his hand. Drip. Hey, look at Felix's new backpack. My baby brother has one just like it. Drip. He's losing drops from his bucket a lot because all of this negative stuff is happening. Psst, Felix, psst. Now they're whispering about him. Drip. Watch out, shrimp. Drip. Aww. It was still morning, and Felix's bucket felt almost empty. Look at his face. He's had a really rough morning. Nothing's really going his way this morning, and his bucket's feeling empty. As he watched his classmates walk into the room, he secretly hoped they would trip and fall. That's what it feels like when you have an empty bucket. You're just mad at everybody. When you have an empty bucket, you're mad at everybody. Felix slumped into his seat and waited for something else bad to happen. Miss Bottom Nickel walked slowly up to his desk and handed him a paper he could hardly bear to look. Felix, you wrote a wonderful story. Would you please share it with the class? Felix grinned, that means smiled, and felt a big drop land right in his bucket. Now he got a drop. Drop, plop, plink, drop. The Gononosaurus who wanted a pet. By me, Felix. The class grew quiet. They laughed at all the right places and oohed at the scary parts. When Felix finally read the end, everyone clapped, even Emily, who sat next to him and didn't usually like dinosaurs. Felix felt a whole shower of drops land in his bucket. Maybe the day wouldn't be so bad after all. Isn't that nice? Drop, drop. Team captains today are Veronica and Felix. Oh, look, he got another drop because he got to be the team captain. Nice cow. It's a dog. Well, nice colors there, Felix. Cool laser ant backpack, Felix. Now they're saying nice things to him, and he's getting drops, more and more drops in his bucket. By afternoon, Felix's bucket was nearly full. At recess, when he looked around, Felix suddenly realized that his grandpa was right. Everyone else had a bucket too. So some people's buckets are really low. Some people's buckets are really full. Let me help you. Drop, drop. Here's your baseball catch. Thanks, dude. Drop, drop. Hi, I'm Felix. First day? Yes, I'm Amir. Drop, drop. So not only does he get a drop in his bucket when he's nice to somebody, but that person also gets a drop. The strange thing was that for every drop he helped put in someone else's bucket, he felt another drop in his own bucket. This is true. This is actually true. If you do something nice for somebody else, it makes you feel good on the inside. It fills your bucket. When Felix burst in the door after school, he shouted, "You were right, Grandpa. I do have a bucket, and I understand how it works." Then he saw Anna's torn doll. "Bad dog," he almost scolded. But then he thought, dogs might have invisible buckets too. "Your doll will be okay, Anna," said Felix. "Mom will fix her." Wah! She's upset. "Until then, do you want to help me build the tallest building in the world with my blocks?" Oh, now he's going to play with his sister. And so they did, and they were both getting drops in their bucket. So I want to encourage you that even though you're at home, I want you to try to be as kind as you can be to everyone around you, because it's going to help your bucket get filled, and it'll also help the people that you're filling their bucket. It's going to help them, and it's going to help you at the same time. Okay? And we'll have a little activity to do with this story also.